Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Quantum Leap homework session, pre-market analysis and trade plan setup for Wednesday, April the 16th, 2014. My name is Doug McKay. I am the founder and head moderator for Quantum Leap. We are a private Skype group of traders, self-organized learning environment. We've been around for over 4 years. If you're interested in joining our group or getting involved, you can send me an email at d.mckay@stealthtrader.com or send me a contact request at doug_mckay. Each morning we come together and do a live morning session to look at the structure of the market, look at the key numbers, macro to micro, look at the trends, macro to micro, and then we get into some more in-depth chart analysis and set our trade levels up for the day, set our hypotheses up and our targets. If you're watching this on YouTube, you might want to skip ahead a few minutes. We go through a basics routine to get prepared for trading. I don't cut corners. I do the same thing every day. If you want to wait and get into more chart analysis, you might want to skip ahead probably 15 minutes. Before I do anything, I've got to get legals out of the way. So this information is for the purpose of educating members who want to expand the knowledge of the business of trading. It's not for trading or investment advice. You and only you are responsible for the trades or investment decisions you make. Trading futures or any instrument involves a risk of loss. Please consider carefully whether futures or options are appropriate to your financial situation. Only risk capital should be used when trading futures or options. Investors could lose more than their initial investment. Nobody at Quantum Leap is a certified trading advisor. We are retail traders operating within a self-organized learning environment. Past performance is not indicative of future results, and any trades you see in Quantum Leap are for education purposes only. Please do your own due diligence and do your own trade plan. All right, so I want to start today with the chart from yesterday. All right, so our main hypothesis yesterday was a upward rotation into the triple distribution zone that surrounds those three undetermined fair values at 25.25, 29.50, and 35.25. And we were opening up right at the value area and the range high and a key 27.25 CLVN, which separates that 29.50 and the 25.25 CHVN. And we said, if we broke back inside to get short into that 25.25, and we didn't want to get long until we got above and got outside of that range from 28.50. Well, we wiggled down, we got down, and we made an initial push down to 25.75. Didn't quite get to the 25.25. I do want to clarify something because I got an email yesterday that concerned me, and they talked about somebody that took the short on the open. My trade plan is designed to get funded on a break above or below an area, and to get funded within 3 ticks, and then I work my stop to my Theo, and anybody that's been in the room for any length of time knows this, but I do have to clarify. So had you taken the short, I would have taken the short probably at 26.75, 25.50, and it would have been marginal whether or not I got funded or not on the short. I didn't actually take the short myself. I waited and then took the long off of the break above 28.50. But we said you couldn't get short until you were below the 27.25, and you couldn't get long until you were above the 28.50. Beautiful move on the 28.50. We went up and hit our 29.50, which was our first target above, and then the overnight high, which had the 96% probability of being taken out, and a test of that first key level at 33, which was the LVN between 29.50 and that 34.50, with 34.50 being our main target above, and then a push through, and they couldn't quite get to the 39. Remember, the year open is 37.75. The bears stepped in and defended this level, and then We rotated all the way back down, came back down, got below. This is where you would have taken the short. You would have taken the short below 27.25 with the first target below at 25.25, and then our main target inside of the value, which was the naked VPOC at 24. Came all the way down, pushed through, tried to break through the key line in the sand that we were talking about yesterday at 21.25, and couldn't quite break through it. Spiked back up, came back up, tested that 27.75, 27.25, tried to break out of the prior day range. The range sellers stepped in. They tried to break out 3 times. They failed, and then we rotated back down and went all the way down, hit our 21.25, broke through it, came down, hit our target at 18.50, which was our first target below the 21.25, came down to our second target at 16.75. Buyer stepped in. The reason why the trade areas are targets and trade levels is because you're always going to get some type of a reaction there, and you can see as the as we came down and hit that target of 18.1675, the buyers stepped in just in front of it and rotated us back up, but we created a weak low down here. So once we rotated back up, we failed to get back above the VWAP. They sold the VWAP, and then we rotated back down and went all the way down and went and hit our next level down at 11. Didn't quite get to the 0750. They front run that 0750 now 2 days in a row. They got down to the 0875 the prior day, and then 09.25 yesterday. And then beautiful rotation back up through the 11. Should have been getting long on the 11 with the rotation back up towards that 1850, and then just beautiful long all the way into the end of the day, and went up and hit and tested our key number. At this point in time, I was commenting that we had the week high and that we would go up and hit that 43.50, and we did go and hit that 43.50 in the extended session. So beautiful, beautiful day, and it's all about having a plan and making sure you know what you're going to do at the different levels. So anyway, let's get our numbers out of the way, and then we'll get into the trends and some analysis and setup. So obviously, what do we just, sorry, I need to just check to see where we're trading at right now. All right, so we're trading right at 46.50 right now. So going over to the data entry, the key number you've got right now is obviously the 39, but really the key number is 1837.75, and I'm going to show you why, besides the fact that it's the year open and defines whether or not we have a bullish year or a bearish year going on. Right now we're back into a bullish year and trading above that 37. Our month open is 64.50. That is a target today to the upside. We've got our 20-day ATR extension target at 1862.25, just below it, but I think 64.50 takes precedence. Our month low is 1803.25, not even come into play, but you got your previous month open right about where we're trading right now at 1846, and then you can see the close for the prior month is there at the 1864. So that 1862 to 1864 is going to be a key level. I'm just going to keep this moving really quickly. So we opened the Globex yesterday 25, had a Globex high 30.75 and a low of 21.75, and that 21.75 area was key to us because we were using the 21.25 as our long or short number, our key line in the sand. We opened at 27.50. We had an open test drive. We went down and tested that 25.75, rotated back up, and you can see we've now had 3 neutral days in a row. And the last time we saw that, we had a normal day and 3 neutral days. I would be looking for possible vertical development today, especially if we open outside of range. I'd be looking for those initial buyers to step in and take us for a rip up towards that 50-50, which is going to be a key target above. Our opening swing, 28.50. High 25.75, low for 2 3/4 swing. So let's look at our clues. We opened up in range, just barely in range, but we did open up in range, so that points towards a rotational day. We had a neutral day prior. Neutral day usually begets neutral day. I wouldn't say the same thing when you have 3 of them in a row. And then you had a 2 3/4 point opening swing, so we had a opening swing that was larger than 2 points, so the market's giving us clues that we were going to get a rotational day. We had a very wide IB, okay, 37 1/4 high, 23 and a low. So again, looking for a rotational day. You had within the first hour trading, you had a great disparity of value, and the fact that we had those wicks in that distribution zone above. So again, all clues that we were looking for, and then of course the last clue we were looking for was the close above and below the VWAP, which we did get as well. And we can go take a look at that on the chart, but I don't think it's necessary right now. All our intraday numbers were higher except for our 1230 number at 1650. Our VPOC shifted higher again at 1836.50, and we had a higher close at 1839.75. 20-day ATRs are running just under 21 on the RTH, 22.5 on the full session, and just over 9 3/4 on the Globex. We again had a tremendous amount of volume, 2.3 and 2.6. You can see, and I've been saying that this would be a distribution area, for the commercial and the large spec, and I'm still sticking to that story. They're distributing down here. I was just looking earlier. Our IB break study that we've been doing, the average break time right now is running at about 9:50. Even though we've had some make and breaks lately, the overall year IB break is at 9:47. So far in April, it's 9:53. So we've got a late break on the IB lately, and the reason we're getting that is we're getting this this wide range of trading on the open as the bears and the bulls fight this out. Our 20-day ATR targets to the upside, 1862 1/4, to the low side, 1827 1/4. And we've got a fair amount of news today. We've got Canadian Bank of Canada monetary policy report, the overnight rate statements, then we've got the Canadian press release, we've got crude, we've got Yellen speaking again, and then we've got Beige Book. So there's going to be a fair amount of scheduled news and headline news. There's lots going on in the Ukraine right now. Apparently they've invaded another, not invaded, but they've showed up at another key city with a bunch of military equipment. This morning I was reading about that. So just a lot of headline risk that can revalue this market, and I think that that's one of the reasons why we could see a vertical development today. So let's take a look at the trend, macro to micro. Trend still very much intact on the monthly. Good slope, good separation. A test of the 9 EMA from above will take us down to the 1782. Don't think that's in the cards today. So really you have to be looking at the close of the prior month at the 1864 area. But the trend is very much intact on the monthly. On the weekly, we had weakness coming in last week, and we closed below the 20, which was the first time we've done that since going back to August or September of last year. But we've now just in the first 2 days of this week gained most of this back, and we're currently trading above the 9 and the 20. So the trend is still, it's showing some weakness, but it's still intact. On the daily, well, we had that beautiful technical gap right here against the 9, came up, closed above the 9 yesterday, and then so far today we've been coming up, and we're likely to come up and test the 20 SMA up from above at that 1850, 275, 1853 level. You know, key level you want to see us hold is the 9 EMA right now, and it says 41, but I would say the key number is 39, and if not the bigger number at 37.75 our year open. So not much to show you on the daily. Taking a look at the geometric chart, well, a move up. We've come back up, and we've broken and rejected the lower line of the longer term upward sloping fork. A move up to test the upper line of the longer term downward sloping fork will take us up to that 1858 50 area. If we see some weakness coming in, a retest of the center line of this intermediate downward sloping fork will take us down into that 1824.50. I'm thinking 1825 and a quarter is the key number right there. So just really quickly want to take a look at the intraday trend, see how we are coming into the market. You can see we've got a nice up move on the 4-hour right now. Got a bit of a technical gap going here against the 4-hour. A close of that gap is likely to give us a test of the 1841 to 1839 area. So just keep your eye on that. On the 30-minute, you've got a fairly decent trend overnight, but you can see that we're losing slope, we're losing separation, and they're trying to hold above the 9 and I'm sorry, above the 10, or sorry, above the 20, and get back above the 9 at 47.50. So we've got some consolidation going on in the 30-minute, and the 5-minute is going to show a lot of chop right now. So really, there's no distinguished trend coming into the open today. So you've got to be careful, especially with that news coming out with the Bank of Canada. If they make any rate changes, any monetary policy changes, that could trigger a wiggle in the market. So let's take a look at the big picture right now on the composite. So our main hypothesis was to chop around between 39 and 21 1/4, and then if we got below 21 1/4 to get stuck and to re-auction the wick, the lower wick from yesterday. This is all in the video from yesterday. I always post these videos on YouTube so that you can see that I'm not making things up after the fact. That was our main hypothesis, was chopping between 39 and 21, with the secondary hypothesis getting stuck in the wicks. We played both sides, both hypotheses, but we had a plan for both, so it was actually a very beautiful trade day. Now, we're going to be opening up a fairly large gap this morning. We had the close yesterday at 39.75, and we're going to be opening up at 47.75. So basically close to a 10-point gap. So right now, I'd be looking for two things: either initiative buyers stepping in at the open and ripping us up to 50-50. Or if we come down and we break below this 46.75 CLVN, I'd be looking for a test of the year, open and this range high and the CLVN at 39. This area right now at 39 and 37, between 37 and 39, is going to become crucial. I want you to see a couple different things. This overall microcomposite that I've got drawn on my chart that runs from February 21st all the way through to the big breakdown day, which was the 10th of April. The value area low right there is at 37 1/4, and that's 2 ticks below the year open. This last big, I've drawn a another microcomposite between the March the 26th and April the 10th. And the reason I did this is I wanted to see where the overall value area was and where the microcomposite VPOC. Did this battle match up with the larger overall battle? And you can see that the value area low on the smaller microcomposite is 36.25, so right there, you know, at that 37, and then the value area high is also right in line at 1867. So we're back inside of this value area. So now it's key if we can hold inside of the value. What happens when you're inside value? They look for the most accepted price. Where's the most accepted price right now in value? It's at the upper end. It's at 1865. That shifted from the 1864.50. So to me, what this tells me is if we can stay inside of value, then we're likely, okay, to, you know, rotate up towards the 65. Is it going to happen today? I don't know, because we can still come down, break below this 46.50, and come and test the range low again, and, you know, close this gap out before they make the move. So there's two lines I want you to pay attention to right now today, and that's at 46.75. If we get below 46.75, I'd short it into the 41 to, you know, I'd even, you know, if you're going to take it, get funded before this 43.50. Remember, 43.50 was one of our upper target for yesterday. It doesn't show that we hit it because this is only the 405-minute. This closes at 3:15 Central. But during the extended time at 3:30 to 4:15, we went and hit that 43.50, which was our target. So it still counts. It's just not showing up on this chart. And you can see when we first started this move up, the value area high was the 43.50, and that was why we were using that 43.50. So if we get below 46.75, I would look for a rotation down into that 43. Get funded before then with the possible continuation to close the gap and to test that 39 and possibly even come down and test the year open at 37.75 and this value area high at 37. Below that, then you got to be looking for coming back into this triple distribution. It's still undetermined value. We still are going to come down and spend some time down here. It's going to happen, just don't know when. And then we got the ping pong action of you know, bouncing around in this zone again between 35.25, 29.50, and 25.25 with the key. You know, my real line right now is, you know, if we break 21.25 one more time, I don't think that 1800 is going to hold. At least I think we're going to get a test of the 1800s with the 1802.50 being the big target below and back down to this 1807. But we're creating a weak low down here, and I think that, you know, you can start really thinking short if you get below this 21.25, because I don't think once we get below that we're going to hold you know, in this upper value range. I think we have to come down and test the 1800s again. And remember, we've got the the composite VPOC still down at that 1775, 1774.50 area. So let's take a look at how this sets up for the day between our Globex and start moving our numbers over. Of course, our Globex high currently right now is 49.75. Come on, get there. And then our Globex low is down right at our close and right at our near the value area high at 39.75. All right, so let me just stretch this out so we can take a look at this. Our overnight VPOC I don't think is going to shift. It just shifted earlier this morning at 40, is it 48 or 47.50? It's 47.50. Right where we're trading right now. All right, so get rid of this. We don't need this. We can stretch this out. All right, so as I said, I'm going to be using this 46.75 as a key defining trade on the open. And the first thing you're going to look for it on the open, because you're opening outside of value, outside of range, you've got to look for initiative buyers stepping in. So watch the open very closely. If you see all buying and it's buy, 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 look for a rotation up through 49.50, and the first target above is the 49.75, 96% probability. You want to get long into that, scale by the time you get there, and then your first target above is going to be that 50.50. Just above it, with the other side of balance being, remember that 55.25 that we were using as our line in the sand when we were trading in the upper distribution? Well, that's going to be your first key trade area above us. Now, above 55.25, then you're looking for a rotation up to the 58.75. With the secondary target at 62, our full session ATR 20-day target at 62.25. And then the main target above, which is going to be 65 now. It was 64.50. Now it's going to be 65. Just a minor shift up. With the other side of balance being 66.50. I'd expect, and just to clarify, if we get up to 65 today on a strong push, then I'd look for, I actually make sure you get scaled out, but I would even look to take the reaction off of that, because we're likely to see some sellers step in, and you'll probably get a rotation back down to 62.25 off of that 65. Now, we've got to look at what the half gap, and sorry, I don't have this calculated yet, so let me just do that. We've got, we're currently, if we open right now at 48.50, so we'll just base it on 48.50, and our gap close is 39.75. So basically, your half gap fill is going to be 44. So I'm going to make that a target. Because I think if we get below the 46.75, you're going to get at least a half gap fill. Come on, get in there. All right, and then of course the the target below the 44 is 43.50, but we're using 44 because we're going to front run that 43.50 as a half gap fill, and then below that the key area is going to be 39. 75, basically the range high at 40, and take out that 39.75 overnight low. If we take out the overnight low, overnight high, 96% probability of taking out the high or the low. If we take out the high and then rotate back down through, I think it's 28%, but I think you got a higher, because of the tight range overnight, I think you've got a higher probability of taking out the overnight low again if we get back, if they don't step in, the buyers don't step in at 44. And then below 39, you've got your first target below, which is going to be the value area high at 36.25, and then the big target is going to be down here at the 27. And remember that the 20-day ATR target below is 27.25. So I'm going to mark the 27.25 just as a reminder that that's also the 20-day ATR target. But it's really 27 that's going to be your big target below. And then below that, you've got the 25.25 CHVN right here. And then a big line in the sand is going to be that 21, of course, 21.25.
Hey, Doug, just noticing on my chart I have 36.50 as the VPOT from yesterday.
Okay.
Got a late shift.
And then why didn't I get the shift? And I did a couple downloads. Let me do the download there, because that'll change that. But it's not, if it's shifted, that's even better, because it's going to be right at our first target below the range. I don't want to do a download because it's going to take a couple minutes. I'll do that just at the very end. 27.25. If that shifts, then it's 27.25, which is the 27.50, which is the LVN between the CLVN between 29.50 and 25.25. That will shift from a target to a trade area with the 25.25 just below it. So, you know what? There's going to be. It's going to take a minute or two. So 21.25, and then our value area low is down here at 17.75. Now you have me worried about all my numbers. And below that, you've got the 15.75.
Yeah, and my value area low is also
Make it
higher at 19.50.
All right, I'm going to do nothing I can do here, everyone. I'm going to have to do a data download. Want to pause the video for a minute, Howard?
Okay.
All right, so just quickly, we had to make some adjustments because we had a little bit of a data issue. The 3650 VPOC, naked VPOC from yesterday, is right below the value area high. That becomes our main target. 2750 is the CLVN between 29.50 CHVN and 25.25. CHVN in that triple distribution zone, and of course you've got just below the VPOC 35.25, but the VPOC is going to be the main target below the range high at 40. We're currently trading 48.75, 48.50. I'm anticipating a push up to take out the overnight high, possible initiative buyer stepping in. But if you see us break below the 46.75, get short into a half gap fill at 44. Just make sure you're really tight, and we could get some two-sided action here as they're battling. But the key thing is, anytime you're opening up outside of range and outside of value, you've got to look for initiative move on the open. And if you see an open drive, don't try to fade that drive. Okay, you want to be, you want to be long into that drive, and because that's when you could turn into a trend day, and we can get a move all the way back up into our main target above, which is that 65 microposit VPOC. So that's going to complete our morning homework session. I apologize for the technical difficulties, but those are the things that we have to deal with on a daily basis. And just, as always, trade well, trade safe, and we'll catch you on the flip side.